Throughout my career, I've created a lot of processes. Processes for employees, processes for customers, processes for the organization. If you've ever been in a place where you've had to create a process or follow a process, you're probably familiar with people not being too happy about the process or not wanting to follow the process for one reason or another. Maybe they've always done things a certain way or their way, and they want to keep doing it that way. Or maybe they don't see the benefits of the process. Or maybe they just don't think the process applies to them because they know how things at this company work and that process is good for everyone else, but not for me. It's important to have a process outline so everyone at every level understands how to interact with your organization, your department, your company. They know what to expect. No one is above that process. I don't care if you have someone who knows how to do this job and they've been here for 10 years. They're not above the process. We don't want to lose anything. We don't want to miss anything. The process makes sure that we don't, and it makes sure that you also don't lose anything and you don't miss anything. One of the biggest complaints I've heard about following process, having to call a certain person or enter tickets a certain way, or to stop and enter a ticket before I help this person. The biggest complaints I hear about process are that they slow me down. If someone calls in and I know how to solve their problem, I can just help them on the phone, get them off the phone. Why would I waste time entering a ticket for that? We are kinetic people. I'm a kinetic person. I always want to be moving and doing things. When I'm on a conference call or I'm on the phone, I like to have my earbuds in and walking around because I don't want to be sitting at my desk. I don't want to be stagnant unless I actually have to be reviewing information or sharing information. I would rather be walking. My mind works better. I'm not getting distracted by things on the screen. I think a lot of people are kinetic people. When you're driving and you get stuck in traffic and it's just standstill traffic, and maybe you can look ahead and you can see if there's an accident up there and that's what's slowing down this traffic. If you have the ability to get off the road, hit that side road and go around everything that's in front of you, most of us are going to take that. I'm looking at navigation and it's telling me if I just stay in this slow moving traffic, it's going to take me 7 minutes to get to my destination. But if I take that detour and I go around, it's going to take me 15 minutes to get to that destination. I still take that detour and I go around. If I would have just sat there and waited for a while, not moving for 5 minutes, then it only would have taken me 2 minutes extra to get to my destination. I want to get off the road and move. So I was moving for 15 minutes, but it felt like I was going somewhere. It felt like I was moving. A lot of what gets in the way of process, we don't see that if we follow this path, that we slow down a little bit, that we take time to document, that we take time to go through the proper sources, that it's actually going to get us better service, probably of a faster response. And in the long run, it's going to be better for us and the company as a whole. Instead, we want to feel like we're moving. If we don't get that immediate response, I just want to email this guy. I know this guy, he's going to respond to me with the answer and I'll be good to go. Maybe this was a deeper issue that we actually had to document and write down. Maybe it's something that we're trying to track everyone who calls in with this specific issue. Now we have one less person that we know we have to communicate to when this issue is fully resolved. Maybe this is happening to every single person at the organization. If everyone contacts their own person that they know, we want to be able to identify that dozens of people are experiencing the same issue and address it systematically, because we might have only got one call that came through the proper process that was documented properly. The other big reason for having your processes defined, if you are able to follow the process when everything is okay and maybe it's a minor issue, then when something big happens, you aren't going to let the process fall apart. If you're contacting the person every time you have a small issue and you're going through the proper process, then when something big happens and you contact that same person, the documentation is flowing correctly, it's getting to the right sources, and you're letting those people take care of it and triage it appropriately. If when something really big happens, everyone loses their minds and no one documents it, your organization can't be better prepared to address something that large the next time it happens. When something big happens, maybe an organizational outage or something giant happens to your customer base, you can handle it better if you follow the correct process to communicate and document what is happening. It can also help calm a stressful situation rather than freaking out and emailing a bunch of people and having 35 people involved in different email chains trying to figure out what's going on. We are going to follow the process, and as long as I focus on that, then I won't be so stressed out with everything else that's happening. In IT, we call this major incident incident response process or problem management. Get your problem management team together and you have to work through the issue with that group of people. Down the road, you can do a post-op and you can look at what happened and you can dissect how we could do this better in the next big thing that happened. But if no one followed the process, if you didn't document when that big thing happened and you just started sending emails because, well, this is outside of the process because this is a big broken thing, you're never going to improve, and you're never going to improve your organization or your response, especially when something big goes wrong. It's very important to have your processes locked in, and everyone at every level needs to follow the process. No one is above the process. The process is there to make sure that we are capturing things correctly, that we're documenting things correctly, so that everyone gets the same level of service and that every issue is documented and communicated in order to have a cohesive, systematic approach to everyone, every customer, every department, every organization.